discussing with various types of management and cost account techniques, right? So we have discussed with ABC costing, target costing, life cycle costing. So two more concepts are left in the first unit called as environmental accounting, okay, as well as um, t- theory of constraints, okay, otherwise called as throughput accounting. So what's environmental accounting? Environmental accounting provides the data which highlights both the contribution of natural resources to the economic well being and the cost imposed by pollution or resource degradation. Now, I'm sure I do not have to explain much on this concept because we have been living in an era, right, where we focus on more of industrialization or urbanization or civilization rather than actually preserving the environment, right? Until and unless our scientists used to tell that ozone layer is depleting, right, or any kind of dangerous hazards, unless they told us, we never took the fact that we need to preserve our environment, right, or protect it, right? We focus on building factories after factories, industries after industries, but we really never focused how are these industrial effluents, right, the waste that is coming out of a factory or an industry is termed as effluent. Okay, so these industry effluents, how are they having an impact over the nature or the environment? We give very less importance or concern towards it, right? So that's how government, I think, introduced something called as social responsibility, right? That every company, irrespective it's a trading or manufacturing or service industry, like 2 to 3 percentage of their profits have to be contributed towards a social responsibility, right? It can be in building public toilets, or it can be maintaining a park. Okay, somehow companies can contribute back to the nature or back towards earth. Is that clear? So that's why government has made a strict rule so that we would start focusing upon preserving our environment, right? We all are interested in cutting down trees. Today we know how much people are suffering for oxygen, right, that we freely get by nature. Today we are paying lakhs together for oxygen or survival. So, environmental accounting is to make sure that companies are aware of how much they are impacting the environment and making sure they can reduce it maximum possible. So, humans have a moral obligation, right, to protect the environment, because everything that we today enjoy, we have taken from the nature. Once we take, we do not damage it, right? We need to give it back by preserving it, right? So that's how we call it as promoting sustainable development. Environmental degradation is detrimental and is jeopardizing the long term health and security of plants, animals, and humans, right? So, here we are also focusing that it's not just the nature that we are actually harming, but also the other living creatures. Yes or no? So, that includes even us. We actually are ending up spoiling our own source of survival, that is the oxygen. So, it is important we need to understand how we are impacting the environment around us. We all can see a clear picture when the lockdown was announced, right? When all the human activities for a certain time period was paused or stopped, right? You could see how the environment was healing itself, right? It can be the aquatic animals or the birds, how they were actually trying to live their lives once we were inside our homes. That shows a clear picture how much negatively we have impacted the nature. So, in order to be environmentally aware, we also need to take measures to protect the planet and hopefully undo some of the damage that is caused by which the damage that is caused to the nature primarily is by human activity. So there are three specialization in case you want to take up as a career called as environmental accountants, right? So there are three categories over here. Environmental management accountants. These are individuals who collect and analyze data, right, regarding the pollution control and material flows for executives. So they try and collect data, analyze it, and provide it to the company executives. The second category is environmental financial accountants, where these create analogs reports for external audiences. The first one was just for the management, that is the CEOs or the board of directors. But the second one here is for the regulators or investors. The third category stands environmental national accountants. Now, these individuals analyze environmental accounting by considering the use of natural resources as well as how these impacts are being managed throughout the country. So these are going to analyze what is the effect of natural resources in a particular location or a geographical area, to what extent we can use, and make sure we don't overuse, that is we are going to be damaging the natural resource. So these are the three different categories: management accountants, financial, and national accountants. Moving on to the last concept of the first unit, it's called as throughput accounting. Now, throughput accounting, shortly TA, okay, is a management accounting technique that is used as a performance measure in the theory of constraints. Remember, throughput accounting is derived from the theory called as theory of constraints. Commonly it is called as TOC. Now, this theory was propounded by Eliyahu M. Goldratt, okay. He is called as the father of throughput accounting. Now, what is the formula of this concept? It is sales revenue minus variable cost. Okay, sales revenue or the total profits made minus your variable cost. Its main goal is to identify the limitations and constraints that can delay the production and related processes that can eventually lead to the delay in sales. Now, a delayed sale will automatically affect the money realization. So, this throughput accounting majorly focuses on what are the factory, within a factory. Just imagine yourself, you are within a factory, okay. There's a manufacturing process that is going on in the factory, and there is a certain process involved in the manufacturing. There's process A, B, C, D. So you identify in process C that there is some problem with that process, okay. So this accounting deals with identifying. So you're identifying the limitation. There is, the process C is a little bit slower, or it is not able to take the workload much faster than process A, B, and D, okay. So because of which there is a delay in production, okay. So throughput accounting identifies the constraint, okay, which is actually slowing down the production process and also the related process, which will affect the end result. What is the end result of manufacturing process? A finished good, okay. So number of finished goods reduces, the sales reduces. Sales reduces, automatically the amount of profits a company makes will reduce, okay. So throughput accounting is focusing that our profits are not going to reduce. In fact, I'm going to identify that constraint or a limitation, fix it, and make sure my profits are maximized. Because we all know every company looks forward for maximizing profit, okay. They look for all possible ways how I can maximize my earnings, okay. Now here's, there's a little link that I have provided. okay, which explains what exactly is theory of constraints.
Using the theory of constraints, TOC, we are going to identify the bottleneck and debottleneck the process.
So this is the process 1.
This is the process 2. This is the process 3.
This is the process 4.
Let us study this by assembling 15 ball pens. Let's observe the time that we take. Alright, are you ready?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
Let us start the timer. Start. Can you see what is happening? Can you see what is happening?
Yes, the bottleneck is getting created.
Where is the bottleneck?
I guess me.
Why is it Shruti? Why is Shruti the bottleneck?
Because it's more slowly.
Because
Because I have maximum WIP.
it's already reached 3 pieces.
Finish.
Finish.
Okay, how much time did it take?
20 seconds and the same act.
Yeah, 90 seconds. Okay. We had seen that the bottleneck is the limiting operation. You cannot work
So hope you
faster
guys
than
are following up here. Okay. So here there is a person on the right side called as Raj. Okay. So there is 4 process in fixing or making a pen. Okay. Now he makes the body of the pen. Okay. He fixes the top part of the pen, and next Swati is going to put the refill into the pen, and then it moves on to process C, where she's going to put the nib of the pen, and the last step is process C. He's going to make on the left side, he's going to fix the pen cap. Okay, so please observe there is 4 steps: process 1, 2, 3, and 4. Now if you just observed previously, that is over here, this girl called as Shruti. Okay, this is process 3, where if you can observe here there were 3 pens lying. That means there is a limitation in process 3. Got it? There's a limitation or there is a constraint in process 3. Now based on how much process 3 completes, this guy can continue the work. Now if she is fast, he will also be fast. Is that clear? There is no point if process 1 and process 2 is fast, but then over this place it gets stuck. Is that clear? If this place, can you see here, work in progress. Here there is a number of products that is getting delayed. Okay, because of which this, that is the last process, also cannot be completed. Okay, so whatever the full potential of process 3 is, that is here the worker Shruti. Okay, to her maximum potential she has to work. Is that clear? So throughput accounting identifies the limitation or identifies the constraint. Okay, so now did you guys understand? You guys can speak now.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so let's see. First step we have completed. We have identified where is the bottleneck. Now let's see how we can fix this bottleneck.
and if the previous operations work faster, it is of no use because the output does not go up and only WIP builds up in between. So we introduce a concept of synchronizing the working of the previous stations to the working of the bottleneck. course, you don't have to worry about the after bottleneck operation because it can work only as fast as the bottleneck works. So we will use an indicator like some kind of an alarm. We will just tap the table to indicate that the bottleneck operation has completed one piece. Are we ready?
Yes,
sir.
Let us start. Now that the bottleneck operation Shruti has completed one piece at a time, which please look here and look there, you will find that they will place one piece down. Now,
Can you observe, guys? Now here he is using a what you say as a symbol or as a what you call as a sign that this bottleneck or this process is completed its job, and then they will start working. Okay, they will not work. Yeah, somebody is talking.
Like alarm bell.
Yeah, correct. I'm not getting that word, okay? Like an alarm. That's the right word, okay? So, based on her limitation or based on her strength, they both have to synchronize the work, that is process 1 and process B. Now, what is the benefit of synchronizing the work? Is can you observe over here this place? There is no work in progress. Can you observe here? There is no work in progress. That is the benefit of synchronizing the processes. Clear to all of you? Did you guys follow it up?
Yes, ma'am. What is synchronizing?
Sorry?
Synchronizing meaning, ma'am?
Okay, synchronizing means adjusting. Okay, see, if process 1 and 2 work faster, process 3 cannot work with their equal speed. You got my point? She cannot work according to their speed limit. Got it? So, these both processes, process 1, process 2, has to synchronize themselves to the speed of Shruti or adjust their speed to the speed of Shruti. That is called as synchronization. As I just told, what is the benefit of synchronizing is there is no work in progress. Can you see here? All the 4 activities are happening. Can you see on the screen? But there is no work in progress. You got the point?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay, let's continue.
notice that there is no WIP anywhere.
Okay, now you also see, before they identified a constraint, look at this on the screen. Time taken for 15 pens to manufacture was 90 seconds. Okay, note that. Let's see after fixing the constraint, how long it will take.
Because the previous 2 operations, Swati and Raj, are working to the synchronized to the bottleneck. Where we tap, the previous 2 stations send the product ahead. If the bottleneck works faster, the tapping will be faster. If the bottleneck works slower, the tapping will be slower. The previous operations will work accordingly. Notice the absence of WIP everywhere. An indication needs to go from the bottleneck operation to the previous ones. Indication from a central planner is no use. Alright, we finish. It will take about the same time because the bottleneck operation was not debottlenecked. It was not improved. So the time will be about the same. But we will not have excess WIP in between. The next.
So, using an alarm or an indication, what was our benefit we achieved? We were avoiding any kind of work in progress in process 1 as well as process 2. Is that clear? Now, in order to eliminate, now first one we has identified, second we have synchronized, now third we are trying to eliminate the bottleneck. Okay, let's see how he does it.
Is we need to increase the output from this line. How do we do that?
That can happen only if my bottleneck process produces more.
Where is stuck?
How can we get Shruti to
Okay,
produce?
so now he's focusing that how can we improve the output of the manufacture or processing of pens. Okay, so how can that happen? Only when this bottleneck speed increases, then they can achieve in manufacturing more pens. Let's see how they do.
More. Can you work faster?
No, I cannot work faster. I am doing my best here.
What else can we do?
Can we add
See, the bottleneck or the constraint is making sure they are used on the best potential, not what they can just do on level 1. To their fullest potential, what they can do, they have to perform.
but that will be added cost.
Okay, so what else can we do?
Maybe you can ask one of them to help me.
Alright? Who could be freed out of the whole group?
I think Owen.
Owen can
Yes, Owen can be freed. Why? Because he had some idle time. His operation was requiring very little time. So we can now have a situation where Shruti does her work and Owen's work, and Owen does his work and Shruti's work.
So let's divide our resources.
Now, can you see what they're doing? They're trying to fix or improve the speed of the output of manufacture by here, because this last process guy has a lot of idle time. What do you mean by idle time? He has nothing to do. Okay, until when? Until this girl completes her work, he has no job to do. That means his time is idle time. Until and unless she completes her work, then only he can start. Okay, so therefore you can see on the screen they are sharing the work. So she is going to do his job as well as her job, and he is going to do his job as well as her job. Let's see in the video.
So now, two people doing two operations each. Okay. You think we can start?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, now we can start timing. Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Okay, start please. Now please look at the WIP, how it is going. It's disappearing fast. Everybody working as fast as possible, but no WIP happening here. Working process. WIP happens here for a split second, and it disappears. So where is the bottleneck?
No bottleneck.
How can that be?
I am not the bottleneck anymore.
Actually, all of them are the bottleneck. Yeah? Bottleneck is here because the rate at which he can produce is the rate at which the rest of them take it forward. Now let's see how much time it took for the entire job to be done, all the 15 minutes. Okay, the last one coming up.
It's almost over.
Yes?
Done.
Okay, stop. How much time? Yes. 66?
Yes.
66 seconds. That's all. From 90, it has come down to 66. And did we increase the resources? No. Just still 4 of them working. No increase in resources.
Only redistribution of the work.
Exactly.
So as we saw in the video, there are 5 different steps: identifying the constraint, exploiting the constraint. Okay, that means you're going to fully utilize the constraint to its fullest potential. Step 3 is to subordinate everything else to the constraint. Just as we saw in the video, we could see that there is a other processes are getting adjusted themselves, or I would say synchronizing their work according to the potential of constraint. And then fourth one is elevate the constraint. That's what we see on the last step, how they share the work and the time was decreased but output was the same. Before identifying the bottleneck, they took 90 seconds to produce 15 pens. Let me repeat that. They took 90 seconds to produce 15 pens, but with the help of identifying the bottleneck and elevating the constraint, they were able to produce 15 pens in 66 seconds only. Got it? So that's the benefit the company can make. Are they incurring any cost during this whole process? No, not 1 rupee is increased or decreased. Within the same budget or within the same finance strategy, they're able to attain profit. Okay, they have reduced the time limit over there. The rest of the time they can produce more number of units. More number of units will give you more number of sales. Automatically your profits will be maximized. Okay, so isn't the theory of constraints or throughput accounting benefiting the company? Definitely yes. So the fifth step is again the process repetition. So this example we can apply to one process, to one product A, and then you can repeat the process again to product B and so on. Hope all of you are clear with the steps in throughput accounting. Let's look at the benefits. Number one, it's simple to understand and easy to implement. As we just saw, right, it was very simple for us to identify and fix the issue. Second one is provides flexibility to management. That means that management has its own power in order to change the process or how to identify the constraint or how to fix it. It's completely the management choice. It's flexible. Number 3 helps in continuous evaluation and control. It's not that once I've repeated the process and that's the end of it. No. This throughput accounting process, you have to do it every now and then, maybe once in a week, once in a month, right? Depending upon the management, they can implement throughput accounting process that helps them to continuously evaluate the process and also control the constraints. Number 4 helps in taking care of bottlenecks and eliminating them. Now hope all of you are clear with the picture of what is a bottleneck and how do you manage them or eliminate them. So there are 3 things involved here. Investments. Now investments was otherwise called as inventory. Okay. Now what is this investment? It is the measure or it measures all the money that business spends in buying things that it tends to sell. That means let's say all the cost that is involved in order for you to become a finished product. So whatever cost you're investing for you to get that raw material into finished good is called as investment. Now what it is? Operating expense, the next point. Now it ensures all the money that business spends in turning the inventory into throughput, okay, such as utilities, taxes, etc. Now operating expense, that means the amount of money the business requires in order to run its business successfully. That is inventory into throughput. Inventory is what? Your finished good is ready. Throughput is what? Maximizing profit. Okay, that means in order for your finished good from your factory to reach the market or to reach your consumer or customer and you get the sales amount, okay, or realization of profit, that is called as operating expense. whatever you expense you incur in order to complete this circle. So what is net profit according to this concept? Throughput minus operating expenses. Now in the first slide I showed you what is the formula for throughput. How to find the throughput? How do you find out is your total sales revenue minus your variable cost. Got it? So that is the formula of throughput. Once you get that value, next you deduct that from operating expenditure. That's when you can find out the total profits earned by the company. So on the whole, cost accounting works on reducing the cost. Throughput accounting works on maximizing the profit. Hope the two concepts are clear to you, environmental accounting and throughput accounting. In case they ask you for 2 markers, what is the difference between cost accounting and throughput accounting is, this is the number one difference. Cost accounting always focuses on reducing the cost or reducing the manufacturing cost. Basically, it is focusing on cost. Whereas throughput accounting, its major focus is how can I improve my profit? How can I improve my sales? Okay, that is to maximize profit. Hope both the concepts are clear to all of you, right? So with this we come to the end of Unit 1 under the subject Performance Management.